All right. So this is my reflection on Black is the Body. I thought it was very interesting. Thought it was like really, really cool. How um it was just talking about Blackness and her life, as well as a little bit with and her family and her daughters. I think how I would explain Black is the Body, the chapter is that it talks about uh, your blackness. If you are someone who is of a darker melanin, or your melanin is brown or black. Talk about your melanin a little bit, but also talking about your history and where you could be from. We're not all from one place. We're all from a lot of different places, especially with our family history. It can go down so many different people, so many different ways. Like when with Isabella and with her sister, talking about, they're African, they're from Ethiopia, but their not father, their grandfather, who is Emily Bernard's dad, is from Trinidad. So, and even though it's not blood, but it's like you have family who is from a different part of the world, and um, makes up their culture, makes up their history, and of that sort. So, and I thought that was really really cool. And it has a little bit of colorism in it too, especially with Gilbert. Gilbert says that he's gonna give the cards to the light-skinned people. Kind of turned me a different way. Turned me a different way a little bit when Gilbert said, where is it at? Um, that he was going to give the light people cards that year, and she would get her card the following year, and that would just kind of turn me the wrong way. So it kind of was like color. It felt like it was colorism, which is something that a lot of people deal with, especially in the Black community, deal with. But also, what I thought was interesting was really just talking about Blackness. Um, the way she talked about Blackness, like it says, like, to know where the Negro is going, one must know where the Negro comes from. Um, and that was by C.L.R. James in his 1939 essay. Um, you got to know where you came from. And I think for me personally, I got a lot and took heart to that because I knew I was black, but I didn't know the I didn't know how big and how much I was missing out until I went to an HBCU. I didn't know a lot of things. I didn't know who W.B. Du Bois was. I didn't know who Booker T. Um, Washington was. I didn't know some of the other heroes who were black, or even who were African that came over. I didn't know those people before I went to Morehouse. And after going to Morehouse and possibly going to another HBCU in grad school, it allows me to have a sense of, okay, my true blackness, to step into my blackness fully, so that way whenever I do get older, I can stand on a solid foundation of these are the shoulders that I carry. Even learning about my own history, knowing that one of my cousins was president of Alabama A&M, the founder of Alabama A&M University in Alabama. Learning about those things, and I think it speaks to uh, what her sister told her, of just like, uh, you're not brown, but you're black. Telling telling young people that you are black, I I think, and I guess the way to interpret it is like switching the way of telling them that they're black as a bad thing into a good thing, making them feel powerful. And that's why I think it's so important. And I got this from reading Black is the Body, the chapter. It's like, uh, give them the power, give them the power, learning about HBCUs, learning about these black heroes, these black superheroes. So it's not just cool. It's like it's a lifestyle. It's not just a trend, which it's not. It's a lifestyle. And I guess you could say that's how uh, I can connect it with myself. I did see how it connected with W.B. Du Bois. W.B. Du Bois, very educated, an educational person. He wrote the Miseducation of the Negro, um, and I kind of connected that with the chapter too, um, with the Miseducation of the Negro. That article by W.E.B. I believe it was by W.B. Du Bois. It's been a minute since I read it. It talks about how it's the learning of the education that is missed by Black people and why it's important for them to know their history, go to school, um, to learn, to gain knowledge about who they are, and sometimes even a little bit conform to the whiteness of white people. And in my mind, reading it again, it kind of just messed with my head a little bit. But also, it's like allowing young kids who are Black to be educated and to learn and to understand and grow, because it's important. And like I said before, it gives them back their power of being a a scholar, a Black student, a Black person, Black man, Black woman. Um, and that's huge. Another thing that I saw within trying to get to the chapter. Black is the Body, if I can get to it, was talking about her sibling, I believe. I believe it was her sibling who was from Trinidad and came to America, and she felt like it was like a not a cardinal sin. Felt like she was in a straitjacket, and I thought that was really very interesting as well. If I can get to it real quick. It was in the Becoming American. Um, said that what had been prompted by her elders, including my father, as a land of professional opportunity, provided her to be an intolerable ideological straight jacket. And I thought that was very interesting because I believe that's true when it comes to some people who come to America thinking that's going to be great. Some of them struggle and it's hard and it's challenging and it's tough because it's like, you know, our society is like, yeah, you're Black, but it's like, no, you're not. You're actually Nigerian or you're Trinidadian or you're Jamaican. And for me, it's like in my family, my family, I have people from the Virgin Islands. I have people from Jamaica. I have people who are from uh, Nigeria in my family and who are Cherokee. And so it's like not just seeing, and I did learn this a lot at Morehouse. It's like you're not just don't just look at me as Black. Ask me where I'm from. And if I say I'm from America and I only have like American blood flowing, not just American blood, but like if I have an ancestry who is outside of American, asking that question, being open enough to ask the question too. Um, what does the reading teach you about stories and storytelling more generally? I think what this chapter told me or taught me was that sometimes you have to have the conversation early, and it's okay to have the conversation early. Um, Having that conversation about in the car with police, with as a black person, or even just in general, like if you are a white person and you have a black friend in the car and you get pulled over by the cop, yeah, don't be afraid to have the conversation because I think it's important to have the conversation with young white kids who are like 16 years old who may have black friends, whether they're in sports, whether they're in dance, whether they're in gaming, whatever. It's important. I think everybody should have the conversation. I think I kind of learned that because it's like she even said it was like where is it at? Like her experience of being black was like being aware. And that's so true. And I think that happens a lot when you get older. Like you have to be aware of the things that happen in society. And I think that everybody should have that same conversation about, either what happens when you get pulled over or just in general about, you know, how to treat your black friends, because some people just do not know how to treat them. They just don't. But it was a very interesting chapter. And it was the part when she says, like it says here, what does nigger mean? And she says, I don't remember bringing the question to my parents, but I'm sure I must have because I cannot remember a time in my childhood when I did not know what it meant. For as long as I can remember, I knew that nigger meant to be different, to be outside, and to be less. And switching the context of what that word means in the past to what it means now, especially in a pop culture type of world or generation that we live in now, it's changed. And I think with the ER, it's still the same, but with the A, it could be different because some people use that word and like it's power back to me. Um, but yeah, is the story effective? Yes. How? I guess everything I said, which is taking back the power, um, and giving the power to young black children. I think that's probably the biggest thing I'll say is giving power to young black children because especially in the school system, if you're not being taught this by parents or by really by parents, the school system sometimes is corrupt and they won't tell you the whole truth because it's not that it's not allowed, but it's challenging to tell the whole truth in a school system that is structured a certain way. Um, and that's why it's important to give young black kids the opportunity to know who they are, see themselves for who they are, and empower them at a young age. So when they get older, they already have that power, that foundation of, yeah, I am this. I'm not just black, but I am black. I am proud. I am, whether it's proud, I am gay. I am Nigerian. I'm Christian, whatever that they are, give them the power to stand on it and not allow that foundation to be shaken. Um, and what did it make you think? It made me think about my experience at Morehouse College, knowing that I am not just black, but I am a lot more things than that. And standing on it and being confident in it. So yeah, that is what I found out. So yeah.